Hi everyone. In the last lecture in this module, let us look at loops. So we will start with a simple for loop example, and we will create a constant where we say that fruits array is equal to, so we have apple, we have a banana, we have a pear, and finally we have strawberry. There are two ways of doing the console log. We can do the console log of the fruits array, and we can also do the console dot log of the fruits array dot length. When we run this, we can see that the array has four different items in it: apple, banana, pear, and strawberry. And the length is 4. That means there are 4 items in the array that we have created. Next, we want to run a loop. So we will say that let I is equal to 0. And then we say that I should be less than fruits array length. Now we know that fruits array length is 4. That means that as long as I is less than 4, we want to increment I by 1, like this. Let's look at console log I, and we will also look at console log fruits array and then the I. So the first console log will give us the numbers, which is 0, 1, 2, and 3, and then we have the 4 items as well: apple, banana, pear, and strawberry, which is coming by writing fruits array like this. Let me also indent this properly. Let's look at another example for each loop. So the function that we are using here is the for each loop example. We first want to create a constant. Let's call this the number array. And in the number array, we have 1, then we have 2, we have 3, and we have 4. Number array dot for each. The function will be item, comma I, and then we write console dot log of I, and we also have console dot log of the number array and I, like this. Let us run this and see the result. Let me change the function to for each example, and let's run this again. And we get the results as 0, 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let's also do it in a slightly different way. So we have number array for each, and we can simply write item I, and then we can say console.log of I, and we have console.log of the number array and I. As you can see, we get the same result like this as well. Let's do another example that will convert my Celsius to Fahrenheit. So we will first create a constant which will convert Celsius into Fahrenheit, and we will say that T would be T multiplied by 9 divided by 5 plus 32. That is the calculation. So let's do function for each example 2. First, we create a constant. So we will take some Celsius values here. So let's create a Celsius array where the readings that I have are 0, 15, 22, 13, 22, 31, 15, and let's say 7. And we will create a Fahrenheit array as well, which is currently blank. Then we say the Celsius array for each, and I'm taking T, and we want to take constant F, which is nothing but convert C to F of the value T. And then the Fahrenheit array dot push F. This means that more new values will be added. So one by one, each of these Celsius values will be converted into Fahrenheit and the values will get pushed. Okay, so that seems all right. Let me quickly check if there is any mistake that I have made. So let's close the semicolon here as well. And let's close it properly like this. Okay, so we are working on for each loop example 2, and when we run this, you see that it is running properly. But to see the result, let's do console log of Fahrenheit array, and you will see that the original Celsius values that we had given, so 0, 15, 22, 13, will get converted into Fahrenheit values like this. Let's also look at a map loop. So this is a slightly different map array method. And what it does is to create a new array from existing, applying a function. So the function is, let's say my map loop example. We will first create a constant. So we say that our Celsius array is equal to, I'll copy the same set of values. And then we will say constant, the Fahrenheit array is equal to Celsius array dot map. Now, if you look at map, it says that it's a function that accepts up to 3 arguments, and the map method will call the callback fn function one time for each element in the array. And when I run this, you will see how much simpler this is. In a single line, I can now say convert C to F, and we will take the T value. And when we do console.log of Fahrenheit array, you will see that we get the result with the for each loop example too. But if we run it with the map loop example, we get the result. And this function is much smaller and much cleaner than the previous one. Finally, let's also look at looping over objects. So first, let's have a function which is my object loop. And I want to create a constant which is instructor. And we will say that the name is equal to Havish. Then I have the age, which is 34. And finally, we have the title, which is, let's say, the founder. To loop, we can say for constant property in instructor, and then we can say console log of property, and once again console dot log of instructor property, like this. Now I'm just writing here that, remember, the dot notation will not work. That is why I'm using the square bracket notation. So let's select the new function, which is object loop. And when we run this, we can see the name is Havish, age is 34, and title is founder. Now, if you're wondering why we cannot use the for each method, remember, we cannot use the for each method when you're working with objects. So if you have written employee dot for each, and you say that the function of item, and we write console log item, remember, this will not work. So when you're working with an object, the for each item will not work. Just keep that in mind. Let me also comment this out.